flat screen one. How many of you had that Etikopo TV, that big one? When you look at it, when you look at it very closely, you see some dots, some plenty dots. Have you seen it? Those things are what we call pixels. And the things that draw those colors on the screen, they are what we call the what? The renderers. Everybody say renderer. Nice. Now, if you look here, you see that there used to be two main renderers. DirectX was by Microsoft. How many of you know DirectX? How many of you have tried to install the game and they tell you that you need DirectX or something? Okay. The next one is also called OpenGL. Has anyone heard of OpenGL before? Well, that one is also what? OpenGL is open source. So just like Linux, they allow you to what? To copy their code. They do their work and then they say, everybody, come and take it and then work with it. All right. Now I want to talk about the next thing, which are meshes. So we've all played games before, right? Subway and then the rest. Now, when you look at 3D games, how many of you know the difference between 3D game and 2D games? 3D and 2D. Do you know the difference? You have played Angry Birds before, right? You see how Angry Birds is flat? They can only go up and down and left and right. And how many of you have played God of War? You see the way he's able to run around the room. You see the difference between God of War and Angry Birds. So Angry Birds is an example of what we call 2D. The old ones that we used to play with. Because it only goes left, right, up, down. But then when you have a game like God of War, or like, who said GTA 5? Yes. So like GTA 5, you're able to run around the whole place. And that's what we call what? 3D. In fact, right now that I'm standing here, who can tell me whether I am walking in 2D or 3D? The Angry Birds, this thing that jumps up and down. Or can I walk around? So am I in 2D or 3D? In 3D, good. All right. No, let me come back. So now, meshes. I want to talk about this thing called meshes. So I will still be going with games. So you should. How many of you played Vice City? Vice City. Have you seen the way Vice City is? And have you played Auto 5? Who played Auto 5? So you see how Vice City and Auto 5, who looks nicer? Auto 5 looks nicer. And the difference is that when you are playing with Vice City, you can see that, what's the name of the guy in Vice City? No, not Auto 5. Vice City. Okay, we'll go with CJ. But you see the way CJ moves around, and then you see the way when you're playing Auto 5, Michael and then the rest, you can see that the buildings are real and things. So all of those things, they are called what? Meshes. Okay? A mesh, like a net. If you look over here, you see the mesh of a dolphin. You see the way the lines are connected. Have you seen it? This is how we create their faces and then all those things. You played PES 13. Who played PES 13? The football game on PS2. Or now you play what? 15 and 16 and 21. You see how real they look. How many of you play FIFA? The old FIFA and the new FIFA. Which one do you like? The new one or the old one? The new one, good. And so this is it. Now, when you look at the meshes, you can see that they wear clothes. You can see that when you are playing, they have jerseys, right? Yes, and those jerseys, we call them what? Textures. I hope the view is good for you guys over here. All right. And now, the next is what we call nodes. Everybody say node. Now, a node is anything that we can move around. Okay? So, I want somebody to look in this room and tell me or give me an example of a node. Anything that you can move around. Yes? What? The fan. Which one? Is it in this room? In this room. Let's do it in this room. In this room right now that you can move around. Something that if you use your leg to hit it, it will fall down. Yes? a chair, a bottle. You can say any answer and you'll be correct. So, yes. Well, a pen. Yes, it's correct. Yes. A book. Yes. A bag. So all those things that you can move them up and down, we call them nodes. And when you are playing games, you can see that their characters move, don't you? When you are playing and then you are pressing X or box, they are supposed to do something. If you press it and then they are not moving, you say, which game is this? When I press something, nothing moves, it's just standing there. So all of those things, the players on the pitch, the ball, all those things, we call them what? We call them nodes. Good. Now the next is, let's read it. Let's all read it out. This is what? Particle systems. Now, a particle system is what? A system of particles. How many of you know what a particle is? Particle. Yes. Tiny. Good. So Gary is a particle system. Am I lying? It's plenty. Sugar. Salt. What? Rice. Sand. Good. So all of these things, they are all particle systems. And when we are working with game engines, they are examples of particle systems that we have. For example, fire. Okay? The next one is what? Who can tell me what this is? It's water, right? A water fountain. And then this is what? Smoke. You see? So they are all small particles that they come together and then they form a particle system. The thing about particle systems is that particle systems let your game look real. Okay? So when you are playing soccer and then it is raining, how many of you have been playing and then you see that it is raining or snow is falling? See how nice it is? So that is the reason, or that is one of the main things that we have when it comes to particle systems. Now let's look at the next thing. Shaders. How many of you have learned shading in creative arts? Yes, shading. When you draw something, okay, and then when you shade it, which one is nicer? When you shade it. So when you look here, you see, how many of you know Minecraft? The game called Minecraft. Okay, when you look here, you see the same game. Look at this. It's the same game. Can you see that it's the same thing? But then the one over here is not using a shader. The one over here has the shader on. Which of them looks real? The one on the right. You see how nice it looks? So when you are playing the new games, who can tell me the new games that have come right now that people are playing? Auto 6, yes. Football 2024, good. So you see that they are running and then you can see their shadows on the floor, all those nice things. And then let's say you go to your friend and then he has some old game B, and then you go and then you play it and then you see that you say this game is not nice. Right? And it's all because of what? Shaders. Can you see? Shaders make the game look very nice. When you do it raw, this is how it looks like. And then when we shade it, it becomes so nice. You can even see that the sun, you can see it, right? The shadows and things. Yes. All right. So this, like I said, it was just an introduction, a simple introduction to game engines. In case any of you would like to make a game, how many of you would want to make games? How many of you want to do something in software, programming and typing code and all those things? How many of you want to do it? If you want it, raise your hand very high. Let me see you. Yes. So the thing is this. This is just to show you that when it comes to games and then when it comes to game engines, it's not something very difficult. We just take it step by step. I said everything is a what? Is a no, in the presentation. The things that we can move around. What do we call them? Nodes. So the only thing you do is that you put your nodes in the game. Okay? You add some particle systems, you put some shaders there, and then you have your game. It's as simple as that. Do you understand? And then all of these things, they are made by, or let me say, it is made possible with the use of what? Open source software. Do you understand? So when I am doing all these things, if I stand up and I say I will do the work by myself, I'll be very tired. But somebody has done some of the work. They have let me copy some, and then I'll do the rest. Yeah. All right. So. All right. So. Are you sure? Is it? I can't see the screen. Does anyone have a question? There's something I would like to show you, but does anybody have a question? Anything about games, you can ask me right now. I'll answer it for you. Any question about games? Maybe you had a problem, or you are wondering how we should do things. Anybody? Okay, Charlie. Nice. No, so before. Okay, so let's look on my screen. There's something I made when I had finally learned how to work with the game engines. So I was also learning like you. I was in JHS 1, JHS 2, and then I got to JHS 3, and then this is what I was able to, or this is what I was supposed to do. So just everybody look on the screen. Go and tell me, which game is this? Which game does it look like? Yes, and this is made possible because of the things I learned. Do you see it? I'm dead. Yes, but if you look very well, I'm sure you can see the notes. Who can tell me some notes that you can see over here? Whoa. No, not at score. Wow, I'm very bad at this game. But you can see the buses, right? And then you can see the ramps, the ones that you jump over. You can see all of them. Those are all what? Nodes. You see the coins? So this is one of, or let me say, some of the things that you'll be able to do once you learn game engine, or once you learn about game engines. This is just an example. And then he hits the bus and then he dies. Okay? Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Applause.
Yeah, thank you very much, John, for giving us that presentation. So this is about game engines, right? So for those of us that the games that we like playing was not referenced, please, once you get to learn the basis of this, you are on the path to like developing your own games, okay? So don't worry that your game wasn't mentioned, okay? Yeah, so we'll move next to our next presentation. So that will be an introduction to machine learning and artificial intelligence by Dixon Ejay. So let's welcome Dixon Ejay with a round of applause.
Hi guys. My name is Dixon once again. All right, thank you. Okay, so today we're going to have an overview of what AI is. We've all heard AI before, right? Sure. Who can tell me the meaning of AI? It's actually on the board. Go ahead. Thank you. Let's clap for it. Sure. So we're going to talk about what okay, I think you just go back. All right. So we're going to define what AI is, what it means. Like, I know when we're in school, when the teacher will be like, what is this? And then we define it and we write it in a book and then they'll test us later. Okay. So this time I'm not going to test you, but I want you to keep it in your head. Okay. So when I say AI, it means artificial intelligence, as our lady said. But then what does it mean? Okay. What does it mean? Anybody? Can you define it? Go ahead. What's your name? Ahmed. Yeah, go ahead.
It means the simulation of human intelligence into machines.
Okay, thank you. Let's give it to him. All right. So it's right in front of you, okay? So basically, if we know what human intelligence is, if we go on to the artificial side, it's more of trying to simulate human intelligence with machines. Okay. So next up, you can see I've written AI versus ML. What's the meaning of ML? Anybody? Like you again? Okay, go ahead. Machine learning. Thank you. Let's give it to him. Thank you. So I always say these words are self-explanatory. So machine learning. So if you actually don't know the definition of machine learning, just look at the two words, machine and then learning. So basically, if I say a human being learning, can you imagine a machine just learning? Probably the machine will be sitting behind a book or something. But yeah, sure. The processes we do and we go through for the machine we give the machine information. So basically, that's machine learning. And we all know the impact. If we don't know, who can tell me? I really want this to be a conversation. Who can tell me the impact of AI and ML? What impact have you seen in the world? We all use Google. We just use Google right here. Anybody? I'll just go ahead. Do you want to talk? Okay, go ahead. All right.
It causes unemployment.
No, go ahead. Feel free. I didn't get that. Say it again.
It causes unemployment.
It causes unemployment. Okay. Anybody else? Sure. We'll clap for you or when we are done. Okay,
Yes,
sure.
it increases creativity.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? We'll clap for everybody afterwards.
The job market.
Okay, so it could transform it in a bad way, it can transform it in a good way. In a good way. Okay, thank you. So let's give that for all of them. All right. So yeah, they're all right. So there are good impact and bad impact of AI and ML. So today's not a discussion for that, but let's just move on. All right. So this is it. So enhanced decision making. I'm pretty sure what we said will fall under some of these. Improve customer service. So for businesses, and then optimize operational efficiency. So whatever you are doing, even if you're a student and you're trying to do your assignment, AI will help you. And okay, so I'll spend more time here. So key components of AI and ML. So when I say AI, you know it's artificial intelligence. When I say ML, you know it's what? Machine learning. So I'll spend more time here. So we're going to go around the circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to take each of them, delve into them, and define them. But before that, again, anybody knows what a neural network is? Anybody? Ideas? You're not supposed to be right. I just want to know what's in your head. Anybody? Okay, so let me just go ahead. We've done a little bit of biology in school, right? Integrated science. We know what this is, the nervous system. Did we all do that in school? Oh. Are you guys in SHS or JHS? Okay. Neurons are components in the brain that probably make up the brain and help us to think and do what we are doing. So what neural networks, what programmers sought out to do is to try and mimic what is here. Okay, so God made what is here, and then programmers are trying to mimic it with code, with algorithms. So now we move to algorithms. So who can tell me what an algorithm is? Okay. Oh, sure.
Basically,
For you. So he said a mathematical recipe. Okay, we all know what a recipe is. Okay, if we go to the kitchen, if you don't even go to the kitchen, I'm pretty sure you've heard of a recipe before. So yes, he's so right. And to explain it in simpler terms, okay, so an algorithm is just, like he said, a recipe is like instructions to cook. So in this way, it's instructions to make the machine do something, okay, make your computer do something, right? And it's basically your code. And then the third one is natural language processing. So these words are self-explanatory. So always keep in your head, if you see something you're not familiar with, try and explain it with what you see. So natural language processing. Who can tell me what it is? It is right there, but who can tell me what it is? Okay, I'll just go ahead. So natural language. What I'm speaking is natural language. Okay, I'm speaking raw English. You can hear, you can understand. It's raw English, it's natural language. So natural language processing are the techniques, I'll say programmers and then AI engineers use to understand, to make the machine understand, process, and make meaning from natural language like text. Okay, so ChatGPT is a large language model. Have we heard that before? Anybody? Yes, thank you. Anybody else? Right, sure. So it's a large language model, and if you delve deep down, it's this NLP stuff they are doing. So if you hear NLP for short, it's just natural language processing. Okay, so I just move on to robotics. Right. So AI has a, should I say, a software side and then a hardware side. So robotics is more like the hardware side of AI. So you can see a car moving around in a certain path, always dodging stuff. It's all robotics. And then if you go deep down, just some algorithms and stuff doing stop here, go here, and then, okay, deep learning. So again, deep learning, self-explanatory. I'm giving a shallow explanation here, so I think I'll share the slides with you if you want. You can just read through later. But then these things, if you really want to know them, when you go back, you kind of ruminate, okay, and then learn more, get more information, and then choose the path you want to go. So deep learning, I'll say, it's deep learning, like learning deep, okay. So building stuff, building programs to get deep insights from data, okay. So when you have data, you can maybe make some inferences from the data, you can make some analysis from the data, but when you make, should I say, deep insights, building algorithms and then complex code, complex programs to get deep insights from data, that's when you have deep learning. So it goes like so deep into it, so, but I'll just brush through. So now we took care of neural networks, algorithms, natural language processing, robotics, deep learning. So these components make up AI and ML. So there's more, okay, or there are more, but like this is just like a broad overview. Now let's move. So this is the boring side of the lecture, okay. After that, I'll demo all the IT, and then I'm sure you love it. Real world applications of AI and ML. Anybody? Can anybody tell me or show me or prove to me? Yes, we have a hand here. Can I just?
Google Gemini.
Thank you so much. Let's give that for him. So he just clapped. Do you know what Google Gemini is? Wow, you just clapped. You don't know Google Gemini, just clapped. Okay. So I'll explain later. But like, do you want to explain what Google Gemini is, if you, very briefly, for them to understand what you said? Okay.
Yeah, so it's an AI assistant that can help you with your queries.
Thank you so much. Let's give that for him again. We all know ChatGPT, right? You know ChatGPT, right? Ooh, wow. And if you know ChatGPT, hands up. Oh, okay. So I think probably you are in school, so you guys are off for the web. So okay. So that's ChatGPT's sister. So Gemini is ChatGPT's sister. So it's just a chatbot, an AI assistant, as he said. So that was built by Google. ChatGPT was built by OpenAI. Okay. So any other applications, real world applications of or real world applications of AI and ML? Any other? Go ahead. Julius AI. Wow, I don't know that.
It's used for data visualizations and analysis.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Let's give that one. So I'll just say, so they are mentioning like the generative AI stuff we are seeing right now, but actually AI has been there like since the ages. In Google searches, when you search for something, instead of getting a bunch of links, sometimes you get like a direct answer. And stuff like maybe the music we listen to. So let's say if you are playing music, if you have a music app, you usually get the music you play like the most come up frequently for you. So there are so many applications. So in medical diagnostics, in automotive vehicles, you know, we have self-driving cars now, right? So it's still in testing phase, but like there are pretty good ones out there. Tesla is in wonderful, awesome stuff. Then recommendation systems. You can actually build a recommendation system on your own. If you have some bunch of data and then go here, if-else statements, you can do that. Then fraud detection, so banks. I think you are kids. So you don't really know. So if you own a bank account, you can't just be withdrawing money by heart. And I am virtual assistant. So what they said. So Gemini is a virtual assistant. All right. So I'm still shocked you guys don't know ChatGPT. So if you don't take anything, you just know there's something called ChatGPT. It's an AI assistant. It's a chatbot that has taken the world by storm. It was built by OpenAI, and it's a generative AI model. Keep that in your head, okay? That's a very it's an important piece of information to keep. Okay, so now next. So ethical considerations in AI and ML. So whilst we are building these systems, okay, we need to make sure we are building it for the greater good. Okay, we can build a very good system and then some bad actor can take it and then end the world with it. Or maybe some people think someone said it's causing unemployment, right? Yeah, so we need to make sure if it's actually causing unemployment, it's actually creating employment elsewhere. So whilst we are building this stuff, we need to take all of these things in mind. And algorithmic bias, this is a very big problem all AI is solving. And I'll show you why we are solving that, how we are solving that, so after this presentation. So, yeah, oh wow, that's actually down there, I didn't even realize. What's your name? What's your name? Who said the job displacement thing? What's your name? Latifa, okay. You can see what you said directly here. Do you see that? Awesome. And data privacy issues, okay. So if for enterprise people, I think this is, let me just, a company came to us to use our system for enterprise, and they didn't want us to see what they are doing. So they want to use our platform for whatever they are doing, but they don't want us to see what they are doing. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It makes sense, right? So these are all like things you need to consider when you're building AI systems. Okay, next one. So advancement in AI and ML research. So currently there are a lot of advancements in, especially in the generative AI side of things. So GPTs, a lot of, you have GPT-4, 4.0 now, there's 0.1. Sorry if you guys are not familiar with it, but yeah. There are a lot of studies, and then it's like a race. Google wants to win, OpenAI wants to win, everybody wants to win. So yeah, you can actually come up, learn, and also join the race. Okay, it's not that hard. Okay, so unlocking business opportunities AI, this is just boring stuff, honestly. So personalized marketing, predictive maintenance, supply chain optimization, risk management. So what you can do, what you can unlock with AI. Okay, if you have a powerful assistant with you, that powerful assistant can solve all your assignments and you get 100% every day. Okay, so challenges in AI and ML. So the challenges we are facing right now. So if you're an AI system builder, if you are building stuff around AI, some of the challenges you face. The first one, you face data quality issues. More like getting correct data. Okay, it's kind of hard. And second one is the talent shortage. Okay, so you can, like I said, you can learn and then be part of the race. So you have more talent, so that this won't be a challenge again. And the second one is interpretability of models. Okay, this interpretability of models. Okay, I have to say it slowly for me. Right. So, how you prompt ChatGPT, ChatGPT gives you something. Do you understand how it did it? Nope. So that's kind of a challenge. So if we really understand how these models work, it's going to help us to know how we can interact with them. So basically, it's a challenge. Some people might think it's not a challenge because if you use your phone, you don't even care how the phone works. You can make your call, that's it. But I think it's a challenge because we need to understand how these models work so that we can really interact with them very well. And then regulatory constraints. So yes, these systems are very, very, very powerful. So maybe a country might be like, yo, let's pause this. We can't, let's pause the advancement of it. I think there was, I don't know how to call it, but there was a petition for OpenAI and people, other companies to slow down their AI developments. I don't know if you heard of it. But yeah, so these are all challenges we need to consider when building AI systems. So I think, yeah, that's it. So future trends in AI. Okay, so the first one is Edge AI. So what Edge AI means, I'll start with the Edge and then the AI. So there's something called Edge computing. So when you hear anything Edge, it's just the devices that's closer to the user. Okay, so your phones, your laptops, anything that is closer to the user side, on the user side is edge, so edge computing, edge AI. So edge AI is AI models that kind of even run on your machines. Okay, so in the future, instead of you more like prompting ChatGPT, it just goes to some server, goes to processing, and comes back. You actually be able to do those things on your edge devices, on your machines. And then federated learning, so enabling multiple parties to build a shared ML model without sharing the underlying data. So this is kind of tricky. But do you get that statement over there? So enabling multiple parties to build a shared machine learning model without sharing the underlying data, preserving privacy and security. So more like you and I can collaborate on a sample project, but like I won't see your data, you see my data, but we can just collaborate fine. And it's kind of tricky, like I said, but like in the future we will see those things. More like I predicted a company wants to use us for enterprise, and then they don't want us to see what they are doing. It makes sense, so you have to encrypt. So for instance, if you come on all AI, you sign up, I don't see your password. No matter what I do, I can never see your password. So yes, you are on my system, you log in on my system, but I don't see your password. So these are all things we have to consider. And then AI-powered healthcare. So more like an AI doctor. An AI is something that can diagnose us instead of going to the hospital. We can kind of do that right now, but then it's not reliable. Then human AI collaboration. So yes, I think we still have that. So we have Gemini. So there's this Gemini Live or something. You just take your phone and see something, and then it kind of does for you. You call mom, call dad, it will just do for you. So that's our future trends in AI. We're kind of seeing them now. Then AI and ML transformative forces. So ethical implications. So these are still boring stuff. And then transformation changes across industries. Okay, staying abreast. Okay, you need to keep up. So the fact that you guys don't know what ChatGPT is breaks my heart, and it shocks me too. So please keep up. Okay, I know we don't use phones. You guys are kids. Some of you they don't allow you to use phones and things, but you just find a way to keep up. I don't know. Just find a way. All right. So that's a wrap. Bye bye. Now let's. Okay, you have it. Okay, so I'm going to demo what we do. So I'm from a company called All AI, and what we do is we assemble models like the Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and the rest. We bring them together, and by bringing them together, we solve the problem called AI model hallucinations. I will explain it for you. So the literal meaning of hallucination is more like you seeing something that doesn't exist. So it's like you're sitting here, but like looks like you're on a beach somewhere. Okay. And the AI model can do that. You can ask the AI model what is photosynthesis. Do you all know photosynthesis? Can someone define it? Anybody? I'll give you $1 million if you define photosynthesis. Okay, that's okay. You want $1 million, Sam? All right.
It is the process whereby plants produce their own food.
Let's clap for him. So he defined photosynthesis quickly, like simply. So we can ask the AI model, you can ask the AI model photosynthesis. So imagine you have no idea what photosynthesis is. You can ask the AI model, you can base ChatGPT, base is like ask in PG, so sorry. So you can ask the AI model what is ChatGPT, and then he'll be like, it's a car somewhere, and you have no idea, like it's just throwing you off. Okay. So how many of us have we've experienced something like that before? Thank you. Please, what's your name? Eunice. So Madam Eunice has experienced AI model hallucination before. You too, right? I guess. Good. So it really hurts if you have no idea what you're asking about. If you have some idea, then you can say, okay, you are wrong. But if you have no idea what you're asking about, maybe it's an assignment your lecturer gave you, and then you just put it in the model, and then the model just gave you something. It will obviously give you something if you put something in. So if you have no idea, it's very dangerous because you can actually get zero. And if you're in a business, you can make a bad business decision and then you lose a lot of money and then your boss will sack you. It's so plenty. So that's what we aim to solve. So I want to use this opportunity to introduce you to a platform. It's free to use. There are premium features, but it's free to use. And then how you can solve model hallucinations and then how you can change the world.
come in.
Okay, so okay, thank you. So that's it. Okay, they've put some box here. So my name is Dixon. This is my account. So it's a premium account. So I can do a lot of things. So how many of us are familiar with the interface of ChatGPT? 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Oh, so sorry. Okay. So basically, it looks like the interface of ChatGPT, right? So, but then the difference is, oh, right. So the difference is when you want to make a prompt, you have to select the models. So when I say AI models, just imagine them as means someone that can think for you and they give you an answer. Okay. So ChatGPT is an AI model, Gemini is an AI model. So whoever is operating, can you just click on this button, this one? Right, so you can see I've selected some models. So GPT-4o is from OpenAI. There are a lot of models out here. So GPT-4 is from OpenAI. Gemini, my friend mentioned, from Google, and plenty are here. So I want you to, let me use 3 for now because there are few people can use 3. So deselect this one. Deselect it, just take it off. So Llama is an open source model from Facebook, Meta. They call Meta now. Or just click this cancel button, or you can just click on it again and it will just vanish. Okay. And then let me pick Claude. Okay, now Claude 3.5 works. Pick Sona from Perplexity. That'll be fine. Yeah, so Sona Online to now save. Alright. So what we are basically doing is we are more like cooking. So this is like an experiment we are doing. So we are measuring models. So I just created, should I say, a recipe of AI models. So I have 4 models. I've mixed them and they're going to do whatever I want them to do together. And then whatever they come up with, we mix them. So can someone come up with the prompt? It can be coding, it can be about Linux, it can be anything. Anybody? I just pick one beautiful face. Anybody? A prompt.
Who wants to ask the AI a question?
Thank you. That's a prompt. You want to ask a question? Thank you. I want to type. Sure. Go ahead. Just type. So guys. Okay. So like I said, what's happening if we are cooking? So if you use ChatGPT, so with all AI, instead of using a single model, you are using multiple models. So basically, listen to the name very well, like all AI, like the literal meaning of all, like AI, BR, you have everything combined. But then the E is kind of the German way of saying it. So we've made, I think he is typing something. Wait. So yeah, I think explain 5. Okay. So let's wait for his prompt. PTs in Ghana. Okay. And how? Okay, so my friend is asking the AI models to explain some 5 the diseases in Ghana and how we can prevent them. Right. Before you press enter, I want to check something. There's a button here at the back which you can see, settings. So I want to see, to click on settings and see if so the experiment, we're going to merge the models, okay? We're going to mix them. Settings, just click on settings, there's a pop-up will come. Did you do settings? Great. Can you turn it on? It was off. Can you just the AI summary? Turn it on. Thank you so much. That's it. Now you can press enter. So we give you the ability to merge your models. So So you just watch. Just watch. So awesome. Okay. So what's happening is you're simultaneously interacting with the models you selected. And okay, so Sonar was the fastest. Sonar brought its response. I think GPT-4 was the slowest. Now you have these 4 responses from these AI models. So you can choose whatever you want and then go through. And then here's where the magic happens. So you can have a single response, just one. That's a mixture of all of them. The method is called AI Ensemble. So the AI stuff I showed you, I didn't mention some technical terms because we are all babies. So the method, so when you're done, you can click on the summary up there. Just click on the summary. Did you click? Click. Great. So with what you see, so what all AI does is like a measure of all the 4 models, right? So ND to Akatra, everything. And then the first is a summary for you. So we merge and then we summarize. So you read the first paragraph, you have everything the 4, like, how do I say this? You have an ensembled response. Assembly, the word assembly, bring them together. And the second one is a consistency report, second paragraph. So you get to find out where they all agree, okay, where the models agree with themselves. So the prompt you made, they all said HIV is a disease, so they all say it. And the third paragraph is inconsistencies, okay, so where they disagree or where they differ. So we are still working on it, don't worry. I think it's too small for what I'm saying. But like, we have something cooked already, so don't worry about it. And then last is an overview and a definite answer. So if the prompt you ask, the question you ask requires a definite answer, you see that in there. So if you ask it to solve a differential equation for you, you see that specific answer there. And if it's an open-ended question, more like there's no specific answer, you get an overview. So that's it down there. So I think that is it for the chat side. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to pick one of you and ask you something. Is there a class rep here? Class rep, class prefect. Yeah, point your class prefect for me. I'm sure he'll not lift his hand or her hand. Okay. Yeah, the class prefect. Okay. What are you guys studying right now in science?
Studying right now. Mixtures.
Mixtures. Okay. So, what do you know about mixtures?
Mixture is the combination of 2 or more substances.
Okay. And so let's say you had an assignment and you couldn't remember what mixtures were, and you can't set through your textbook because it's a long process, and you had access to the internet and had access to this platform. So can we get the AI back on the
it's
display?
Real quick.
Are you getting the feed? Okay, so our MC should type at a JHS level what is mixtures, sorry.
Okay, so you can. So there's another side to this platform. So I just showed you half of it. So you can generate images too, okay? So you can generate an image of something that doesn't even exist. So you see how the AI models are creative. So I can generate a flying cow. I can generate a baby wearing an armor. Whatever you can imagine, you can see it. Mixtures, right? Okay, sure. So you can select some models and then do your own cooking and then see the output. It's very nice. And you guys can build this, okay? So this thing was built by people like you, okay? So when you, as you're coming up, when you get to SHS, you can even start now, okay? Start now, build stuff. It doesn't even take much to learn. So you have to just sit on your ass and then you learn.
Is the feed coming through?
I think it's from here, right? I'm trying to find a question to ask. You guys are small. I have big t-shirts. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Machine. Okay.
Okay.
Combined, or the output of the models are being piped into the other models.
If I got the question right, how are we doing it, right?
Yes.
How are we doing it? Okay, so there's something called APIs. If you're not familiar with APIs are just how programs make phone calls to themselves. Okay, so what happens is when you come to us and you make a prompt, we make a phone call to the model providers. So for GPT-4 from OpenAI, so we call OpenAI. From Gemini, from Google, so we call Google. And actually we have to pay for that, it's not free. So when we get a response, we have our model, okay, that does the assembly. So the technical term is assembly, ENSEMBLY, AI assembly. You can go read about it. So when we get the responses, when we make the phone calls, and then we get a response from the phone calls, we use our model. We've built a model, we fine-tune a model that does the assembly. Then we give you the prepared food. So we cook it for you and then we serve it to you. That's it. So you get one t-shirt, okay? Think your size. I brought 2 shirts, but they are too big. So it will fit you fine.
Thank you.
Anybody? Akaba. So if you can come up with a nice question or maybe answer my question. You want one, eh? Oh, cute. Wedge. Please go ahead. I'll come to you, okay?
So I know models like ChatGPT and Claude, they do a lot of hallucinations, and you said your model combats that. So I'm wondering how. So your model doesn't hallucinate?
So our model is not built to give you answers. It's built to compare models. Like it's built to ensemble models. So when the responses come, we look through it, like then we present to you, this is what this is saying, this is what this is saying, this is where they are different, this is where they are the same, this is what this is saying, this is EBAB. So we don't decide. We present to you for you to decide. So I really made sure of that for us not to say this is right, this is wrong, because how will I know? And how will the model know? So there's this bias stuff. I don't want to mention this topic, but some controversial topic like LGBTQ, right? So if someone is in the USA and then he prompts the model, hey, I want to change my gender to whatever. It's kind of right there, right? It's okay and accepted there. But when you come here, that's no. So, what should I tell you? So you present the details and then you make the user decide. Okay. So, you're already there. Awesome. So this is the image side of all AI. So you can select models. So there are image models. They are really called diffusion models. And then there are large language models. That's what we did. So what we did the first was language. When they are called language models, just processing text. And then we are now going to the diffusion models to process images and generate images. So you can make a prompt. I wanted to take a prompt from a user, but that's fine. So you can make a prompt. So this will generate an image of a flying car. Okay, that's fine. So you can actually go further. A flying car with 3 tires, blue, with a lady inside, with whatever written on it. You can go deep and then you see how the AI model is creative. It's not coming. I don't know. No, this is the premium account. Okay, Q. So you can do 2 models. If it's free, you can do 2. Okay. If it was mine, you can do like 3 or so. So you can do 2 at a time because it's a free. So, but you can still use it. You can set the models and then go ahead with it. Okay. So any imagine like somebody can imagine something and then make a prompt. I'll be very glad. Real quick, something that doesn't exist. So you see how creative these models are. Anybody? You wanted to talk, right? Okay. Yes. Okay. I should come up with it. Madam Eunice, can you come up? Can you help us? A prompt. I want you guys to see how these models create. So you know, like it didn't go and pick the image from anywhere. So come up with something so weird, and then you see how it creates it for you. Just a prompt. Yes, we have one. Please go ahead. Where's the mic? My time. Yeah. So this is the last one, and then we're done. So you have a T-shirt, and then you have a T-shirt, right? They are big, right? They are big. That's why. So I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
The
You have
first question-
questions?
A couple of them, actually.
Oh, okay, so it's not a prompt.
Okay, a prompt, for instance.
No, you go ahead.
Does yours do programming?
Please come
Can I actually give a code programming prompt?
100%, yes.
Okay.
For the language side, this is
This is
image.
just image side.
But yeah, sure, we can go back and do it, no problem.
All right, sure. My first question is, do you have a white paper for this?
Okay, nope. But we
Second
have
question.
documentations. Go ahead.
Second question. What's the latency when it comes to the comparison?
Okay, so when you say latency, when latency is like the speed at which the thing is coming, okay, so slowness, so we kind of measure slowness. So it's actually based on the models. Are you with me? Hey.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
So we make the call. As and when we get a response, we show it to you.
So what's the time difference? Have you guys have a test? Can you give me a time difference? How long it takes for it to do that analysis?
So for each model, it's different, but like at milliseconds. I think if you saw, we can go and make a prompt right now. If you don't mind, go to the chat side, make a programming prompt. You see.
Have you benchmarked your model before?
Nope.
All right. Okay. I'll leave the question the rest.
Thank you so much. Stuff. You put me on the hot seat. But yeah, we can talk afterwards. Right. So my time is up. Okay. Hey, please go ahead. So I don't think I have anybody. But if you do,
It's something simple.
would say something else. Why is it stuck? This is my. So we just try that prompt and then bye-bye. If you have further questions, I'm just right here. You can just come and talk to me. And then the teachers, I'll bring it to you. Just at the back there. I brought just two. They are big. Not like big, but then they are not your size. Okay, okay, a two-legged goat. Okay. So try the best, right? So maybe you can change it from the goat with 2 legs or a goat with only 2 legs, and you make the only big. So you can just experiment. Madam, can you see? Thank you. Right. So I think I am done. Done. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. Right?
Thank you, Dixon, for your presentation. I personally, I think the combination of this AI chatbots into a single unit is very awesome. Personally, I always use them separately for separate tasks, right? So let's all try and visit the platform. And you can talk to him. I'm sure he will direct you to the platform. Yeah. So we'll be having 2 more presentations, and then we'll be going for a break, okay? So, we'll speed things up from here. Yeah, so somewhere last year, I moved to a new location, right? And then I ordered a ride. I was going home. And then I had to use the nearest place to my house, right? So when the driver got there, I was like, okay, so now you take this turn and then you go down. And the driver was like, no, this is where you said you are going, so I have to alight you here, right? So moving forward, I had to now put my place on the map, right? So now, if you want to come to my place, I can give you the exact address to my place, and then the boat rider will bring you there, okay? So next, we'll be having a presentation from Yvonne Darkon, titled OSM Imagery. And then she's going to tell you or talk to you about how you can put the places that you love on the map, okay? So let's welcome Yvonne Darkon.
Hello. I sound nice. Hi, everybody. Are you tired? Oh, nice. Okay. So I hope my session will be interesting enough for you. You've heard a lot of tech stuff. My presentation is not so tech stuff, so something that you can relate to. So just bear with me. So my name is Yvonne Darkon, and my presentation will be talking about photo mapping. Do you know what photos are? Yes? What do we use to take pictures? Camera. Which kind? Phone, right? Now we all use phones to take pictures, right? So I'll be presenting on how we can use the pictures that we've taken to map. Okay. So like I said, my name is Yvonne Darkon. So I'm not a techie, I'm a pharmacist, but I contribute to OpenStreetMap. I'm also part of the Linux Accra user group. And I also contribute to Wikipedia, English Tree Wikipedia, Wikidata, Wikicommons. And I love cats. I have 7 at the moment. Did I say 8? Oh. So what is mapping? Do you see the image there? Okay. So there are 2 sides of the image. The one on the left, you just see lines. And the one on the right, you see lines and some tiny boxes in there. Okay. So the one on the left is just the roads. Now, after the area got mapped, now on the right, now you see the boxes. The boxes now is the buildings in the area. Are you with me? So when we talk about mapping, that is what we mean. We are adding things onto the map like you are seeing. So it will move from the way it's looking on the left side to how it's moving on the right side. So now you have buildings, you can tell where your school is, you can tell where your house is, you can tell where your church, your mosque is. That is what happens after we map the things, okay? Has anybody seen something like this in this area before? A number plate on an electricity pole? No. No. Yes. I'm hearing no and yes. Okay. Either way. So this is something I came across in East Legon, where when they were placing the number plates, one of them ended up on an electricity pole. And I wonder how that is possible. Because the plate is supposed to be for a house, but it's on an electricity pole. Okay. And then, do you see the image here? So that building on the left-hand side, where I've indicated red, is what I have zoomed in on the right-hand side. The building has how many numbers? 3 different numbers. Why? Because we have tried to fix our address system over and over and over, and it doesn't work. So one president came, we got number 29. Another president came, the same building, got number 14. And now Akufo-Addo government came, the building is now number 32. So if you were living in that house and you were telling your friend where your house number is, which of the numbers will you mention? 32. Okay. So my passion after learning about maps was to try and put our addresses into a digital form. But I'll explain how I got to the stage where I am today. And then I'll explain how I'm doing the work I'm doing. So I began in 2022. I picked my area and I began mapping. It was part of a competition. We called it the Map Your Village competition. So I picked the area where I lived and I began mapping. How did I do it? I just picked my phone and I was walking through the streets, street by street, street by street, street by street. So if I get to a place where there's a school, then I put it on the map. That there's a school here. What's the name of the school? Then I type in the name. If I get to a place where there's a kiosk with provision shop, God's Grace Provision Shop, then I put there, God's Grace Provision Shop. If I get to a place where there's a tailor, I put it on the map. If I get to a place where there's an electricity transformer, I put it on the map. Speed ram, I put it on the map.
No cookie seller.
Sorry?
No cookie seller.
Oh, yes, yes. My favorite kebab seller, I added him to the map. Why? Because these things are things that we use in our neighborhood. And we don't think about it. But if you leave that neighborhood and you want to show somebody the directions to that place, how are you going to direct the person? But if we've mapped it, he can just go into the map and he can find the person. You get it? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the period, I had done 18,000 steps, a lot of steps. I wasn't paid, though. I didn't also win the competition. But then I had done a lot. So how was I doing it is what I've explained. I walked around and I picked the points. Some of the things like the outlines of the buildings, you can't do it on your phone. You have to sit behind your laptop. So when I get home, then I do those ones. The other thing is, when I picked the point in front of the school, I didn't have internet with me. So I have to collect all the information on my phone, go home, connect to the internet, then I upload. But it wasn't difficult, it was possible. So this picture that you saw in the beginning is actually my area that I mapped. So before I did the work, it was looking empty, like a desert. But then when I was done, now you can see that the place is highly populated. That is Madina Zongo. In JOSM, Here you can see the satellite imagery. So the blues you are seeing on the left-hand side, that's the addresses. And then the yellows you are seeing is the outlines of the buildings. And you can see that Madina Zongo has a lot of people living there. But before that, it was seen as empty. So after doing that work, I began thinking, I'm a pharmacist. Can I use mapping in what I do? Yes. So I had an opportunity to have my project work when I went for my Doctor of Pharmacy degree, and then I decided to map pharmacies. But now I learned from my mapping my village story. The mapping my village story, what happened was, I told you I'll pick the point, then I'll go home, then I'll upload. What if when I was typing the name, I made a mistake? When I go home and then I upload, can I know whether it's a mistake? No, because the only way that I will know the mistake is if I was standing in front of the school. But I've gone home. So how will I know maybe what I typed was a mistake? I couldn't tell. Yes. No. So that's why I said I learned from that. So when I was doing this project, I decided to use pictures in addition. So here you can see some of the pictures of the pharmacies I took, because I wanted to map the locations of the pharmacies. So I stand in front of the pharmacy and I take a picture. When I go home, I have the image to cross-check my information. At the end of my research work, I had about 21 of these maps showing the distribution of the pharmacies in Ayawaso West municipality. My job was that I had mapped the pharmacies. But then after this, I realized that we are lacking as a society. How would somebody know where you are when you have a medical emergency? If you need an ambulance right now, how would we know where you are? Sorry. Live location. If you have data. If you don't have data, what happens? Directions. Secondly, if you go to the hospital and then we treat you and we are sending you home, and then later on remember that instead of giving you para, we gave you something different. So we need to find you. How are we going to find you? Phone number. What if your phone goes off? So the file location, I realized in the pharmacy, if you go to your hospital, the next time you go to the hospital and you look at your folder, you realize you told them, where do you live? Adenta. Where do you live? Kaswa. If you tell me you live in Kaswa, how will I know where you live? If I need to find you, can I find you? No, Kaswa is big. Adenta is big. We don't have anything like house number and street name. So from then onwards, I decided to embark on my current project, which is mapping house addresses. So you see those number plates that we saw in the beginning of the presentation? Yes. So what I'm doing now is to pick the information on the number plates and make it digital. How? So we just pick a picture, we take a picture of the plates like you can see. We don't include the building. In fact, looking at the second plate down there, can you tell which building it is sitting on? If it's even in front of your house, you even know. So we take a picture of that, and then the pictures come with what we call metadata. Anytime you take a picture, where you were standing when you took the picture goes along with the picture. The time of the day, it will go along with the picture. The date, it goes along with the picture. So those things are what we call metadata. So we just take a picture of the plate, the information that I spoke about is with the picture. Now, using that information, we can tell where exactly on the map that plate is supposed to be. And then we use that to now create the house number and the street name for that building. It's very simple, right? Then to help ensure that we don't lose the pictures, because we need the pictures for evidence. If later on I come back and I say that here is 16 Kofi Annan Street, what is the proof that this place is really 16 Kofi Annan Street? I need to have the picture. So then we upload all the pictures into what we call Wikimedia Commons. Wikimedia Commons is an open platform where we upload pictures and it's available to everybody for free. So we upload the pictures there and it will stay there till the kingdom come. So they decide to take the site down. But then once it's there, anybody can go there and can find the picture and can confirm whether what we've done is correct or not. So I have a session in the afternoon after lunch to take you through the actual process. So those of you who are interested, after lunch you can come and you see the actual process. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. You'll be surprised how simple it is. And then once it is uploaded into the map we are using, is not Google Maps. Google Maps is proprietary. Software Freedom Day is about what? Open source software. We upload it to OpenStreetMap. And OpenStreetMap is open to anybody. So once it's uploaded, anybody can have access to it in real time. Currently, do you know the map that Bolt uses? When you take a boat, do you know what map you have been using to navigate to your house? OpenStreetMap, that's what they use. So as soon as we do this uploads and we create the addresses, can you believe it? Boats can now know where your house is. In fact, when you're ordering a boat or you can literally enter 16 so-and-so street and he will know exactly where you are. Because we've uploaded the address into OpenStreetMap. So if we are able to do this for the whole country, we've solved our addressing system, right? Our problem, we've solved that big problem that we have. So that's all for my presentation. Not moving again, not moving again. Okay. We are stuck. Yes, questions?
No questions. This brings about an interesting point, because there's a lot of talk about interoperability these days, where we had an AI talk earlier, there was talk about interoperability of different AI solutions. And of course, with the whole RDF environment, Wikidata and so on, there's a lot of talk about interoperability. But I've never heard anything about mapping. Maybe because Google is there and they don't really want to play that game. But aren't they under pressure though? Wouldn't there be a lot of pressure? Because it seems like what would make a lot of sense eventually is that you have maybe like one source of maps that everybody would use, and then everybody can build solutions on top of that. Wouldn't that make sense? Is there any move towards interoperability in the mapping arena?
Okay, so like you said, because of Google's interests, I guess he's pushing a lot, but it has actually been realized that because OpenStreetMap is contributed by volunteers all over the world, the map data in OpenStreetMap sometimes is more updated than Google Maps, because Google Maps is updating his maps using paid employees. Sorry, yes, he also has volunteers, but how much are they volunteering? OpenStreetMap are also doing the same. What is actually even happening in certain countries, for instance, I know of the US, where they are now vouching more for the open source maps, because with Google it's proprietary. So if you can you can deal more with the open source maps. And for them, most of those very good societies, they do not map from our perspective as in individual. For them, the land survey departments and all that take up that. So they have the map and they make sure that it is fitted there. Because then with the open source solutions, they can now use it for as many things as they can use for. So maybe one day we'll get to the point, but of course, once Google has his money in there, he will definitely find a way to, especially for this part of our world where we are not looking at open source solutions.
So that leads me to the comment and that the way to defeat Goliath, or Google in this case, would maybe be that open source projects that need mapping decides to go to OpenStreetMap. And if we can build up a whole infrastructure of different open source solutions that interoperate very well with each other, then you have a situation where maybe Google doesn't have a choice anymore. I know that there's also been other issues that Google have. Some countries haven't been too happy about is it called Street View, where they say that there's privacy issues and you showing people's walking by and things like that. So
I hope more of you will use OpenStreetMap.
Yeah, so I would want to find out whether the addressing system we are using in Ghana, the Ghana Postal addressing system, does it work in OSM?
For now, no. Because the Ghana Post GPS system that we developed in a silo. Which was weird. Because we live in an international world.
Okay, so there is this addressing system, the Google Plus codes, and from the research I've done, it's open source, and it's much more concise than the Ghana Postal addressing system. So why won't the government of the day use that addressing system?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm not with the government. But what we've seen so far is the Ghana Post GPS was developed. I won't go into details. To try and fix our problem. But like I said, it was done in a silo. So it's not speaking to the other maps. The Google Plus code was perfect. Apart from the fact that you are finally dealing with a proprietary software, which is Google Maps. Yes. We thank God that the open source did. But I mean, what is the map base that you are going to finally work with? Google Maps, which is proprietary. You get it? OpenStreetMap, the map base is free. Like, it's completely open. So, for instance, I was able to do my project work because I had OpenStreetMap. I couldn't have had the map, what's the word? The graphical presentations I had, the 21 maps, if I didn't have anything like OpenStreetMap. Because I can't use Google Maps. I can't put Google Maps into any of my open source mapping applications. So I used QGIS. I used some other map software to pick my data in the field. I can't use Google Maps. You get it? So it is of no surprise that even Bolt decided not to use Google Map. Because then Google Map is in for the money. So you have to pay a lot of money. But with OpenStreetMap, it's open. So you save up on all that money by having a map that is open, a map that is contributed to consistently by volunteers, and the quality is good. If you should look at certain areas, for instance, yesterday I was looking at an area like Berlin. The map is so concise, it's like a beauty. It's like art. Why? Because like I said, for those kind of societies, even their town and country planning and their lands and survey departments all invest their time and their efforts into making that map source correct. So what even happens in the long run is you end up having corporations like Google going to OpenStreetMap to pick their map from them. Because OpenStreetMap doesn't discriminate between who wants to use the map. If Google wants to use the map, it's still open to Google. And it is a surprise that something as open and free as OpenStreetMap has been able to survive for as long as Google Map is still surviving. Even though it is free, nobody is paying for it. It's not supported by a corporation, but it's supported by voluntary donations, and you'll be surprised Google Maps will be part of them. Because he can get the quality of work from there. You see, so it is up to us as a society, as Ghana, to also start looking at some of these mapping solutions. I was very sad when I looked at our, when you look at the maps, the plates in front of your house, you see there's a scan code. When you scan it, it takes you to Google Maps. Our country, we call ourselves a third world country. We probably went for some foreign aid to do this mapping. And we actually took the money to go and pay Google for API. Ghana Post GPS has an app now, and the map they use is Google Maps. And actually, we paid Google. And you can imagine how much money we are looking at, because it's not going to be a one-time payment. It's a consistent payment. But what would have happened if we knew about OpenStreetMaps and we were using it? We don't need it. Countries where today we are celebrating Software Freedom Day. In Africa, we are still stuck to our windows. We don't want to move from the windows. And so because of that, we have to pay hundreds of dollars for Windows license. If not, we are all criminals. Yes. In Asia, where they realized there are open source solutions, and the countries began pushing for it, Windows sells for less than $1 because nobody uses it. Nobody uses it. So it doesn't make sense to charge anybody there. Nobody will even pay because they have the open source solutions and they have built their softwares around it and they are working with it. So Windows doesn't matter to them anymore. Look at a country like China. How would they have come up with their own, what we call the equivalent of WhatsApp? And they are using it. So it is high time for us all to start thinking of open source solutions, OpenStreetMap, Linux, and that's what we are here for. Okay, so thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Yeah, so once again, remember we are at Software Freedom Day, right? So, yeah, so you may not really get what you want with the platforms out there, right? Like the Google Maps and everything, right? But then here you get to learn about available software, which you can freely use to get what you want, okay? So mapping, I think, is very important. Like she mentioned, she'll be having a workshop to give you like a demo into how you can equally put your house or all your favorite places, right, on the map. So we are very close to having like the break, right? So we have just one more presentation and then we can all go on break, right? So for the next 20 minutes, we are going to our final presentation, and then we are having someone from Global Open Initiative Foundation in the person of Abdul Fattah Mustafa presenting on Wikidata, SparkQL, and app development. So let's welcome Abdullah Fattah.
Hello, everyone. I can see we are tired, yeah? We've been sitting all day. So let's stand up, everyone. Let's stand up. Let's stand up. Let's get the blood rolling. All right? Okay. So for the meantime, we will keep standing. Is that fair? All right, let's sit down. Thank you very much. All right, I'm Abdul Fattah Mustafa, and today I will be introducing you to Wikidata. But before I proceed, I can see the majority of us are students, so I want you to understand the presentation in your own language, because I was once a student. See the grown-ups at the back, they will eventually understand, so that those of you in the front as well will understand me better. Okay? Good. All right. Who is with me? Good. How many of us have heard about Wikipedia? Wikipedia. What did you search? What did you find on Wikipedia? Have you searched anything on Wikipedia before? What in particular?
UFO.
UFO. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. He might be a scientist in the future, so take notes. His name might be one person. It might be someone you have to write a biography about in the future. So, what's your name? Ahmad. Ahmad Abib. Nice. Thank you very much. See me after the program, okay? I have a gift for you. All right. Sorry. Who else? Anything on Wikipedia? Anything? All right. On Wikipedia, Wikipedia is an open base where it's like an encyclopedia. Who knows what encyclopedia is? Encyclopedia. Okay. Imagine a world, the world map. Have you seen the world map before? The globe. What does this consist of? What does the world map consist of? Continents, one in particular. I need you to break it down. Countries, different countries. Okay? Imagine a world where people come together to write about different things in one place. Do you understand? People come together to write about different topics in one place. Basically, it's just like your textbook. Are you getting me? It's just like your textbook. Someone was talking about mixtures. Who said it? So you are the class rep, yeah? All right. You should also see me after the program. I have something for you. All right. She was saying something about mixtures. What is mixtures again? A combination of two or more substances. Now, for you to get that particular information, your teacher might have introduced you to a specific textbook to learn that information. Am I right? But if you are to go on to Wikipedia, it is there for you for free. Am I making sense? Wikipedia for you is like a textbook that you don't have to buy. It is there on your phone. It is there on your computers. You just have to access it. Am I making sense? It might not be about mixtures. It might be about an MP that you want to learn about, or a previous election that you want to learn. The election is around the corner. And maybe they asked you, who was the president in 2007? Majority of us don't know that information. And you don't have to buy textbook to access that information. Are you getting me? Good. So you just have to go onto Wikipedia to search for it. What's the name of your school? Again? Badaria Islamic Academy. Good. Take for instance, I don't know about Badaria Islamic Academy. I want to know more about them. All right? Someone like me can go onto Wikipedia, provided that Badaria is known, which I know is known. All right? Can go onto Wikipedia to write about the school. Okay? So that whoever is coming to learn more about your school will get that information easily. They don't have to travel down to Accra to get to know your school. Are you getting me? So for you, Wikipedia is more like a textbook that you don't have to buy. What did I say? A textbook that you don't have to buy. Thank you very much. Now, on today's topic, which is Wikidata. Okay. Wikidata, imagine Wikidata to be a calculator. What did I say? A calculator. For a calculator to function, you have to input numbers. After inputting numbers, you have to input a function, such like addition, subtraction, multiplication, BODMAS. Am I making sense? Good. Now, for Wikipedia also to function, there are some people at the back that are inputting specific informations onto a database. Are you getting me? Now, think of Wikipedia as the cover of your textbook. Okay? Sorry, Wikipedia as the content of your textbook. Then Wikidata as the cover of your textbook. You see, every textbook has a cover where you will see the title of the textbook, the person who wrote the book. Am I making sense? Then at the back, you will see the author. They will write something about the author or the publishing company. Now, Wikidata is exactly like that. Wikipedia is where you get the whole content. Then Wikidata is where you get the specific content. Am I making sense? Good. So, I want to move fast. All right. On Wikidata, they will tell you, okay, for you, they will tell you that, do you know what a composition is? Composition. Good. For every composition, there must be a title. Do you understand? There must be a title. Someone can give me an example of a title. Example. Anything. My favorite food. Thank you. Who else? My Secret Diaries. Thank you. That's a title. All right? Now, on Wikidata, a title as well can be GIKACE or GICASE. Are you getting me? This particular hall that we are. Or a title can be Nana Akufo-Addo. As a matter of fact, a title can be Abdul Fattah Mustafa. Am I making sense? Good. Now, under that title, there must be a certain set of information that will make that title make sense. Let me break it down for you. If I'm writing about Badaria Islamic Academy, all right, there must be some specific information that will make me understand that this is a school. Is that clear? Now, another information that I can add is, where is Badaria Islamic Academy? Right? Like the previous speaker said, majority will just tell you it's in Accra. Accra is big, isn't it? Where specifically is Badaria Islamic Academy? Where's your school? Where? I can't hear you. Sorry, pardon me. I'm a Nigerian, so I'm not familiar with this. What do you call it? Oduma. Oh, sorry. Oduma, yeah? All right. So for that information to make sense, I will say Badaria Islamic Academy is located at Oduma, right? So instead of me writing the whole story on Wikidata, they've made it easy for us. Now, they've broken it down into 3. The title is the item. Am I making sense? Now, the statement is anything that will make it make sense. Are you following me? The property is anything that will describe the title. In a nutshell, the item will be Badaria Islamic Academy. Okay? Good. Now, the statement is anything that you will add to it, like location, Oduma. Location is now the property. Are you getting me? Is it complicated? Is it complicated? I'll break it down for you again. Don't let me use your school. Let me use myself. The title, my name, Abdul Fattah Mustafa, in this case, will be the item. It means myself. I'm coming to write about myself. Are you getting me? Now, the statement will be anything else that will make me introduce myself to you. I am 43 years old. Sorry, it's just, that's not my age. Sorry. But to make it make sense, if I'm just telling you I am Abdul Fattah Mustafa, you don't know who I am, right? But if I say I am 43 years old, that means my age is making you know more about me, right? Good. Then that becomes a statement. Now, that value itself, age, is now the property. Who can explain what I just said? I'll give you something nice. Someone should explain what I just said. All right, I'll go again. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. He said, it is like an updating software. When you update your software, do you know what a software is? You don't know. How many of you have phones? How many of you have laptops? Do you use your school computers? You've not used it before. Okay. Have your school moved from a location to another? Yes or no? Okay, that's interesting. Let me look for another information I can use. Ghana, as a whole, is a country, right? It's a country. Every 4 years, we have a new president, or we retain a new president, right? Every 4 years, there is what? Election, right? Right? So Akufo-Addo has done his 8 years, so he can't come again and say he wants to become the president. Are you getting me? Now, someone else is coming. So we are updating our software in Ghana. Do you understand now? So the way you update those information, you are adding more statements to your item. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? That's good. Now, this is how Wikidata looks like. In general, this is it. For me to make it make sense to you. At the top side, your data is there. So you can see my username is Sokomi12, and other informations are there. Personally for me. All right? Now, on the left side are the functions of Wikidata, where you can create an item, you can update an item, and you can use the query service. All right? Okay. So for you, I will go back to this place. Now, like I was saying earlier, you can see Douglas Adams. Yeah? Douglas Adams is now what? The item. Thank you. A round of applause for him. See me after. All right? You guys should know each other. 1, 2, and 3. Good. All right. So Douglas Adams becomes the item, the title. Right? Now, you can see just below Douglas Adams, they wrote something there. He's an English writer and what? And what? Humorist. All right? That's a description. It's a what? It's a what? Good. Now, just under that, you see something called statement. You can see statement is standing on its own. Good. It means you are now coming to write something else. So it's giving you access to write what you want about Douglas Adams. Good. Now, you can see that the first statement that was added was St. John's College. Are you getting me? Now, We know that he went to St. John's College. But how do we impute St. John's College on Wikidata? Now, you can see a property at the left called educated at. That is giving you the chance to tell us about the school. Are you getting me? Good. So, in a nutshell, that is Wikidata. For you to understand. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Good. Now, for my big people, it's time for us, eh? So bear with me, okay? Good. For us, especially developers, the world is moving into the open softwares, open APIs, because we spent a lot of money to get APIs for our applications. Now, on Wikidata, you get an API or a database where individuals from all over the world have put in their data for you to use. Are you getting me? It's a pre-made data. You just have to download, pick your niche, and you are good to go. Are you getting me? Now, for you to do this on Wikidata, there is something we call the query service. Are you getting me? There's something we call the query service. The query service only understands one language, and that's Sparkle. Okay? It understands one language, and that's Sparkle. I don't know if I can share a link with, sorry, who is presenting at the back? All right. I'll send you a link, yeah? All right. Sorry. No, yeah, for the query. I have a pre-made query that I want them to use so that you understand me better. On Wikidata query, it's a query service. It's open for you. For instance, if you are creating an app about all the judges in Ghana, now you need the list of every judge that has sat on the bench for a case in Ghana. Now, if you are to find that particular information, it's either you go to the Ghana Law School or you go to a website, a third-party website that you buy or pay for their API. Are you getting me? But on Wikidata, all you have to do is to write some 6-7 lines of code and you are good to go. Okay? Good. So Wikidata query service is just there for developers and you and I to visualize data and get other data sets that you need for your particular applications. By using this, sorry, it's stuck. All right, sorry. By using this particular information, you get a variety of advantages. Because on Wikidata, you can link Wikidata with OSM, you can link Wikidata with OpenRefine. How many of us have heard about OpenRefine before? Initially, it was Google Refine, but now it's OpenRefine, so that each and every one of us can keep updating the functions there. All right? So those who doing data analysis can use OpenRefine. OpenRefine is there to visualize data, correct data, and clean data in particular. Data are there, they are rough. All right? You get data that are not clean. You don't understand what is there. But if you are to use OpenRefine, it will be easily cleaned, for you. Okay? Good. So these are the advantages in particular. Those in charge of AI, I heard someone speak about artificial intelligence earlier. For them, they can use the Wikidata query service or our APIs to build their apps on the back end, such that they will get, a local advantage. So Wikidata is in multiple languages. It's not only in English. So not everyone in Ghana understands English. So for you to get a data set in Twi, Ga, and other languages, it will make it easier for locals to understand the functions on your app. So apps like ChatGPT use data sets for their own localized languages. For instance, if you have to input something onto ChatGPT in Twi language, it will give you a response. So they get majority of their informations by using our API. So we have a cloud service called Wikibase. Sorry. We have a cloud service called Wikibase. All right, good. So I want to show you an example of a Wikidata query so that you understand what I'm trying to say. Good. This is some line of code that I've written to query Wikidata to give me the list of all the judges in Ghana. All right? When you click on the run button, it will show you everything underneath. Please click on the run button. You can see that it's running the query. So it's searching the whole Wikidata database to find those judges that has been published on Wikidata. So every single judge, it's an updating software. So whilst I'm speaking, someone might have written about a new judge. So you get information that you get updated information, not archaic ones. Are you getting me? So if there's a new judge today, someone will put it there for you. You don't have to worry. Please. The results are always under, right? When you hit the run button, good. You can see the list of all the judges in Ghana. Hello? You can see the list of all the judges in Ghana, the number of cases that they've handled. You can see where they've had the majority opinion. These are data that are free and open for you to use, all right? And on Wikidata Query Service, you can also visualize your data. You can see initially it was in a table format. Now, it's in a more interesting format. Good. Now it's in a more interesting format so that everyone will understand what you are trying to do. You can see that the bubbles are bigger than each other. Are you getting me? So the biggest one means that that person have handled more cases than the others. Am I making sense? That person has handled more cases than others. So this information keeps updating. As I'm speaking right now, someone might have updated that information. All you have to do is to query it. But if you are using the API, it queries itself and updates on your own particular applications. Are you getting me? Currently, we are trying to build an app where all the cases in Ghana have been uploaded onto the Wikipedia space and Wikidata. So if you are to look for a particular information about a case, or if you are a law student in particular, if you are looking for an information about a case, it will be easier for you to get that information. Are you getting me? You don't have to go to law schools or libraries to get those information. Those applications will just bring it out for you by querying Wikidata. All right? All right, so that's for the big ones. Any question? Thank you. Mr. Maxwell, am I right? Okay. All right. Sorry? Individuals, you and I.
Let's put different kind of cases. Let's say contract law.
Contract law.
Okay, so cases under contract law. Do you categorize them in that way?
Yeah, you see, the more you niche the information, the better for you. Do you get me?
Okay.
So whoever is inputting that information, if there's a property on Wikidata that talks about the niche of the case, that way, whoever is coming to query Wikidata will be easier for the person. Are you getting me?
I see.
So you can see in the query service, please go to the top. In the query service, you have to add the properties that you are searching for. So if you are searching for the instance of the case number, the number of cases, you specify. So if there is a property that is talking about the niche, if it's a contract law, a criminal law, there's a property there that talks about that. Whoever is coming to query will get their result.
And you said that this is updated with all the current cases?
It's updated, yes.
So what's the current update on it? Which current date of case that have been uploaded into it?
Yeah, if you are to check the data that has been queried, you can see that, for instance, we have other applications that we use.
Okay.
We call one quick statements.
Okay.
All right. Quick statements will give you.
Sorry, just to answer his question. The information there is based on what is available on the platform now. So it might be that we've had like 1,000 cases, court cases, but then we've been able to input 900 of them. Okay. So to reflect 100 that we've done so far on Wikidata, but on the web, somewhere 1,000. Yeah. Thank you.
It will also get updated. You get what I'm saying? Thank you.
So, my question is, why don't you focus your energy on, let's say, digitalizing the judicial or court system? So, let's say they have an API, you can call and get data into, instead of updating it. Yes.
Everyone is nonchalant about it, which is not good. All right, can you hear me? All right, everyone in Ghana is just nonchalant about the digital development. Are you getting me? There's no API in Ghana that you can use. That's why we are there, so that people can use them for free. You get me? Yes. He has a comment. Sorry.
Yeah, just two very quick comments. First, about how quickly things get updated. I remember some years ago there was a movie that was being released, and as the movie was premiering, I think in New York or something like that, somebody was actually writing the plot onto a Wikipedia page. So in some cases it can be really real-time updates. In some cases it depends on how much interest there is. An obscure court case in Ghana might not be added very, very quickly. It probably depends a lot on volunteers, right? In some cases, it's very quick. My other comment, though, is maybe a little bit more serious. I'm very interested in the concept of data and the ability to trove through large amounts of data and get your information. If I'd had access to this when I was at the university, my research would have been something very different. There is, however, a danger, and I think that's something that we all need to pay attention to, and that is that in a world that is politically very, very divided, and where we no longer seem to be able to talk to each other anymore, there's a risk that who produces the data, and what are the procedures for verifying the data and making sure that maybe both sides of the divide, and there are people like me that doesn't fall into any side of the divide. We think they're all jokers. So, you know, how do we make sure that all sides of the divide can agree that, okay, this is truthful? It's not difficult with something simple like gravity, for example. We can all agree on gravity exists. I can drop the mic and we can prove it. But what happens when we start talking about a contested topic, like, for example, the American election 2020, where half the population thinks it was stolen, half the population thinks it was all good and everything like that. Those are problems, and I think those are problems that we're all going to have to grapple with a lot. So anybody who works in data at some point is going to have to start asking themselves not technical questions, but more ethical questions and questions of data integrity, right? Because yeah, in some cases it's known that on Wikipedia, for example, certain people have logged on to Wikipedia and had the information about themselves rewritten in a way to present themselves in a good way, right?
Thank you very much. Just to counter that a little bit, currently on Wikipedia we have admins and we also have tools. Those tools are there to cross-reference. Okay, so if you have to add any reference onto Wikipedia, it's cross-references to see if that information is actually true. And there are other admins as well to check if the article is even worthy of being on Wikipedia. So you can write an article and within 2 days it's deleted.
I'm aware of this. The problem is I play the devil's advocate. Assuming I think that, the administrators of the site, they're all on my political opposition.
Yes.
Then I'm likely to think that Wikipedia is lying.
Yes,
Because
yes.
that's where the problem is.
Yes.
I accept it because I'm interested in data
Yes.
myself. But you know that there's a group of people that feel that Wikipedia is not,
It's not valid. Yeah.
a mouthpiece for a certain type of political group. And that is a problem.
Yes.
We just have to acknowledge that it is.
Thank you very much. That's a very important. Please, a round of applause for him, please. You couldn't hear him. Oh, sorry. He was talking about the ethical aspect of the Wikipedia. You see, the world is politically diverse. So, if you have to put an information onto Wikipedia, some people will also think that that information that you've added there is false. All right? So, he is talking about the ethical part of the thing. Those who are interested in data find, they understand the diversity in the information. But those who have political agendas in mind will also think that you are also trying to push another political agenda, and it becomes like unverifiable. Let's put it that way. Thank you very much. That's a very valid point. All right. So for the school, for the students, for you to understand everything that I've said earlier, if you can remind me, or if I should remind you, the item is what? The title. Thank you very much. The statement is what? Description. Thank you very much. And the property is what? The age. Examples of other properties that you can use. Location. A round of applause for yourselves. All right, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's give him a round of applause again. Thank you, Mustafa, for your presentation. Okay, so yeah, congratulations to everyone. We've come to the first round of our program. Yeah, so from here, we'll be going on break, okay? But then please bear with me. Let me make some announcements, and then we can go for break, right? So right after here, for those of us who like to use the washroom, when you just go out of the conference room and then you turn left, right? When you hit the junction, you go right, and then you go straight, and then you find the washroom, right? So that's if you want to use the washroom. If not, we'll be heading to the entrance, right? Not the gate, just the entrance of the building to take like a group photo. Okay, so for those who will be going to the washroom, you can quickly do that, and then you join us at the entrance for the group photo. So after the group photo, we'll be having lunch, okay? And after lunch, we won't be coming back here. So as we leave here, please, let's all take our things along, our bags and everything. Let's take it along. Oh, I'm not done. Don't go yet, please. Yeah. So I'm just saying, when we are going, let's carry everything along, okay? Because we won't be coming back here. So after lunch, our second session will be like workshops, right? So we'll be doing some actual practice in certain things, right? So we'll be doing, there are 4 workshops in total. So electronics for everyone, right? If you've been electrocuted before, like me, I would advise you attend this workshop, okay? So we have electronics for everyone. We have legal data web app using Wikipedia, using Wikidata, imagery for OSM, like the mapping, right? And also open source GIS for everyone. So in case you forget, I'll just be around the front there. When the second session starts, you can just come and ask me and I'll show you, and then you can choose which one you want to attend. Now the time is currently 12:46, right? So we're going to use, from now till we take the picture, let's say that's like 1 p.m., right? And then we'll go for lunch, right? So let's say we go for lunch at 1, right? So, okay. I think not all of you can eat so fast like me. Like me, normally I would finish my lunch in like 3 minutes. But I'm not sure you can do that. So, yeah, so we'll go for lunch for 30 minutes, okay? So at 1:30, we'll commence our the second part of our program, okay? So, yeah, thank you very much. And once again, this is just a reminder that this program is organized by Linux Accra User Group. We meet here every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., right? Every Saturdays. So if you want to join us on Saturdays, come and learn and contribute, you are always welcome, okay? So thank you, and we can all go out now.